Coming up, we'll take you inside a courtroom in Mercer County where a teenager who will be tried as an adult in a high-profile murder case is standing before a judge.
Failing health has kept Jerry Cassidy from pleading guilty to sexually abusing multiple boys during the 70s with his twin brother. Today he made it to court, and this case is one step closer to being over.
I'm Danielle Nottingham. Coming up, President Obama travels here to Dallas to honor the 5 police officers killed in last week's ambush.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. A 16-year-old Central Kentucky boy who's accused of murdering his classmate made his first appearance in court as an adult. Police say Trent Easterling shot and killed 17-year-old Tristan Cole back in April and left his body in a rural part of Mercer County.
WKYT's Mark Barber is in Harrodsburg now with more on what went on in today's hearing, and that is our top story at noon.
This high-profile case is just starting to make its way through court. While there isn't much happening inside the courtroom today, we are getting our first look at the teenager who is accused of shooting a classmate and leaving him to die. Trent Easterling has been indicted on adult murder and robbery charges. He's 16 years old. The teen didn't say anything in court this morning, letting his attorney enter a not guilty plea for him. Easterling is accused of killing Tristan Cole back in April. The high school junior's father says the 17-year-old was shot in the back and left to die in a field. His body was discovered in a remote area of Mercer County after he missed a day of classes. Cole's family describes him as a kind-hearted boy who loved to hunt and fish. He went to Mercer County High School with all 3 of the teens who are now charged in the case. The 2 18-year-olds who will be in court later today, Zachary Lay and Megan Sims, are charged with tampering with evidence. They will walk into court here in an hour and a half to answer to their charges. As for Easterling, he will be back in court on August 9th. In Mercer County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And Cole's family says they are struggling to understand why the 17-year-old was killed. We're still waiting some details, of course, for the case to come out in court.
A Lexington man charged with sex crimes against children has admitted guilt. Investigators say 78-year-old Jerry Cassidy and his twin brother Jack abused the victims back in the 1970s when they were both Boy Scout leaders. WKYT's Victor Puente is outside the Fayette County Court Complex now with the very latest on the case. Victor?
More than 45 years after the first of these crimes happened, both of the Cassidy twins have now pleaded guilty to multiple counts of sexual abuse. Today, Jerry Cassidy pleaded guilty to 9 different counts of sexually abusing young boys in the 1970s when he was a Boy Scout leader, as well as possessing child pornography. His twin brother, Jack, pleaded guilty to 9 different counts back in October and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Jerry's guilty plea was postponed several times because of his failing health. Today he had difficulty understanding the judge's instructions and had to have his attorney sign his documents because he couldn't use his hands. The attorney for the 78-year-olds said they are extremely remorseful for what they did. He said they're both also aware they'll likely die in prison.
But they both pled guilty because they did not want the victims to have to testify down here in Fayette Circuit Court, which would have been very humiliating for them and for the victims.
As part of the plea deal, the Cassidys agreed to forfeit their home on Mason Headley Road. That's where many of the crimes took place. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And Cassidy's sentencing is being postponed until a pre-sentencing hearing can take place. Sentencing is tentatively set for September 2nd. That's dramatic video of a Shepherdsville police officer being run over during a traffic stop. 3 officers had body cameras rolling when they pulled over Tara Litsky at a gas station for having suspended plates. When they realized she had felony warrants on file, cameras captured her trying to speed away. Litsky and her passenger were arrested and are now facing several charges. The officer only suffered minor injuries and is back at work this afternoon.
State police are investigating the death of an inmate who was found unresponsive in a restraint chair at a jail in southern Kentucky. The Casey County coroner tells the Advocate Messenger that 34-year-old Jerry Hardwick was restrained because he was being combative. According to KSP, Hardwick reportedly died from natural causes. He was arrested on several charges, including public intoxication. Showers and storms will be popping up here and there across the bluegrass as we head through the afternoon and for the next few days as this wet pattern is set to continue. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center with a look ahead. Micah?
Yeah, this is going to start that wet pattern all the way through Friday and maybe even off into your weekend. Still low confidence on that forecast for your weekend. Look at the rain becoming widespread back toward the west. It's heading eastbound. Let's zoom into the heavier downpours at this moment, rolling through Mount Vernon and about to cross over 75 any minute if it's not already. Also one coming out of that Harrodsburg, Salvisa area and rolling toward Nicholasville and parts of Lexington. So some pretty heavy downpours. The good news here is not really seeing thunderstorms outside right now, but it will be spotty rain on and off as we travel throughout the rest of your afternoon. Now, the next few days, there will be brief spots that you will be dry, so it's not just an all-day thing. It's kind of like what you're experiencing now, but it is a wet pattern. It's each and every day there's a daily threat at rain. Now, we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you if we have a severe weather threat coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
President Obama is set to deliver remarks later today in Dallas in honor of the 5 murdered police officers.
Daniel Nottingham has the latest on that.
President Obama will pay tribute to the 5 Dallas police officers at an interfaith memorial this afternoon. Last night, more than 1,000 people gathered at a candlelight vigil to honor officers Patricio Zamarripa, Brent Thompson, Michael Kroll, Lauren Aarons, and Michael Smith, killed when a sniper opened fire at a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest.
What's our mission today? It's helping these families understand how to conquer this tragedy.
In an interview with The Blaze, the father of gunman Micah Johnson expressed disbelief.
I love my son with all my heart. I hate what he did.
2 of the doctors who treated some of the wounded and fallen officers paid an emotional visit to this memorial outside police headquarters.
I was thinking, why did this happen?
Surgeons Brian Williams and Alexander Eastman told CBS This Morning's Gail King they have a message of unity for the divided nation.
We all bleed the same. There's no difference. We're all pink on the inside.
The president will meet privately with the families of the fallen officers after the service. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Dallas.
And Vice President Joe Biden is also attending the memorial service along with former President George W. Bush and his wife Laura. CBS News plans to carry President Obama's remarks this afternoon in a special report. He's scheduled to speak for about 20 minutes starting at around 2:20 this afternoon. We'll carry that here on WKYT. Canines and handlers for more than 20 police agencies in 3 states are in Lexington right now. They're running through 3 days of exercises and obstacles for certification from the United States Police Canine Association, which gives out certifications once a year. Officers say it helps and is often necessary when pursuing criminals.
When your records are subpoenaed to court for a canine apprehension or a narcotics find, you have to prove that your canine is trained and reliable and certified.
Training runs through tomorrow. Officers from Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio taking part in the regional testing. Well, if you want to score a free meal today, then Chick-fil-A has a deal for you.
The restaurant chain is holding its 12th annual Cow Appreciation Day today. Chick-fil-A will offer a free entree to anyone dressed in cow attire, whether it's head to hoof or simply sporting a cow-spotted accessory like a purse or a hat. The promotion is good for lunch or dinner.
All right, there you go. Well, former Democratic rivals Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are burying the hatchet today in New Hampshire. We'll have the latest from the campaign trail coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, the son of country music singer Craig Morgan has been pulled from Kentucky Lake following a boating accident. We'll tell you what happened next on WKYT.
Welcome back now to WKYT News at noon. A lot going on in the world. At least 20 people are dead after two trains crashed head-on in Italy.
The president of the southern Italian province where the crash happened says some passengers have been pulled from the wreckage alive, including a 7-year-old boy. The cause of the crash remains under investigation as rescue operations continue. And also in Italy, CBS News has confirmed that Italian police have found the body of a missing U.S. airman in the Adriatic Sea. 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Helix Hale was from Middletown, Indiana. He was assigned to the 31st Fighter Wing at Aviano Air Base north of Venice. On July 2nd, he left a friend's house off base to walk to another friend's home about 15 minutes away, but never made it. Investigators think he may have been drunk and have fallen into a canal.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch is on Capitol Hill at this noon hour testifying before the House Judiciary Committee. She's fielding questions about policing and race, as well as her department's decision not to bring charges against Hillary Clinton over her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State. Lynch closed the federal investigation without filing charges, angering some Republicans who believed evidence showed Clinton had illegally mishandled classified information. Clinton's former Democratic rival Bernie Sanders has publicly endorsed her for president. The two appeared together this morning at an event in New Hampshire where Sanders said, quote, "She must become our next president." He also vowed to do everything he can to help her beat Donald Trump in the general election. Meanwhile, Trump is in the final stages of picking a running mate. He campaigned with Chris Christie yesterday and will meet with Indiana Governor Mike Pence today. We'll have the very latest from the campaign trail in a report coming up on WKYT News at 12:30. Well, country music singer Craig Morgan's son has been found dead after a weekend boating accident where Kentucky Lake meets the Tennessee River.
Emergency crews recovered the body of 19-year-old Jerry Greer. A local sheriff thinks Greer hit a wave while he was tubing with another teen on Sunday. The other teen came back to the surface, but Greer did not. Both were wearing life jackets. The family released a statement saying they are, quote, grateful for everyone's support and prayers, and that they request privacy during this difficult time. Taylor Swift continues to rake in the big bucks. The pop star tops Forbes' annual list of highest paid celebrities. Swift pulled in $170 million in the last year, more than doubling what she made the year before. British boy band One Direction took the second spot at the list with $110 million. Others who made the list included Adele at number 9 and Madonna at number 12. Reality TV star Kim Kardashian, who's featured on the magazine's cover, was number 42. Forbes says 40% of her income came from her mobile app, Kim Kardashian Hollywood.
Coming up on WKYT News at 12:30, a man is behind bars after sheriff's deputies say he shot at another man during an argument over stolen car parts.
Showers and thunderstorms heading our way. They will be on the increase as we go through the day, and we're going to go over that. I'll show you when they arrive at your house if they haven't already. Coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Rain now starting to fall on the lens of our WKYT Skycam, and we're actually on the east side of town. So now the rain's finally pushed into the east side of town, at least the lighter bits of it. As you can see, not really heavy downpours there, or here rather, but you look downtown, you look just to the south of us, and there are heavy downpours mixed in here and there. Let's get right into it. Here's across the Bluegrass, Richmond getting one of those heavy downpours, along with Wilmore, Nicholasville as you travel US 27 all the way into Lexington. We are right here where the green shade is. But you look back toward the west, now you're starting to get some more moderate rain down towards southern portions of Lexington. That's where we're getting some more moderate rain. Some heavy downpours are about to increase Jacobson Park area here in just about 15 minutes. And as you travel up toward Winchester, heads up about 15 to about 30 minutes is when you can expect that. A little more action up toward the north. And you see even a couple of rumbles of thunder within this. Williamstown heads up, you're next in line. Berry Community just in about 10 to 15 minutes. Cynthiana just a couple of minutes if you're not feeling it already. Carlisle, you'll be next here in just about 10 minutes too, as all that's making its way toward the northeast. And look at this little line coming together, a few cells forming a small line down south. And London, you'll be next here in about 5 to 10 minutes. London, or Corbin rather. about 15 in Williamsburg, and about 15 minutes to McKee. It'll be a pretty heavy downpour. McKee Sand Gap community as you work your way off toward Jackson County in just about 20 to 30 minutes. So then we get off into the rest of the afternoon. Here's 4 p.m. Still looks pretty widespread. It just doesn't look that good. There's no doubt about it, 100% confident that the western zones will be more soaked than the eastern zones. The eastern zones, you still have a rain chance, but it's definitely not as great. The farther east that this goes, the more than likely it'll just fall apart. As you can see, 9, 10 p.m. it's long gone. So overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, I don't see any problems whatsoever. But if you're trying to grill out, if you're trying to go out to eat later on this evening, it's going to be tough to do that. You'll still at least have some showers laying around. And the big picture here is that system just to the south of us continues to throw some moisture in. But the bigger system is actually back toward the west, heading our direction, and that's what's going to give us that opportunity at picking up on those chances of rain. So let's check out your 7-day forecast, and let me show you what we can expect with those daily chances of rain. Guys, that's each and every day, but that does not mean it's going to be a washout every day. You'll get breaks here and there, and the severe weather threat is relatively low. So it's not just these systems hammering us one after another.
But at least you present it as an opportunity.
Yes, it is an opportunity
So,
to pick up a little bit more rain.
Yeah, those temperatures picking up too there later in the week. You notice that. Thank you. We're coming back on WKYT. Kentucky will honor some true pioneers.
And Vandy's coach is trying to create some buzz in front of the SEC media. Dave Baker's next with sports.
As we head to break, let's check stocks. The major market indicators once again way up at midday.
This is day 2 of the SEC Media Days down in Hoover, Alabama. And for teams like Kentucky and Vanderbilt, it's a process of showing that you belong. As we've been telling you, this is by far the most attended and reported on gathering of its kind, and you wouldn't expect anything less from the nation's top football conference. But for programs trying to climb the ladder like Kentucky and Vanderbilt, it's about proving you belong and creating a buzz, like Commodores coach Derek Mason did with this fashion statement, and like he would like to do with a win over the Cats.
You know, I mean, both fan bases are right. You know, they want to win, we want to win. You know, the best team is going to win. You know, we hope to put our best foot forward and make sure that we play really good football. But I'm so far away from that. I'm so focused on September 1st and having to get through camp and worrying about South Carolina on a big stage on a Thursday night.
Now, the Wildcats won't take their turn before the 2,500 media members until tomorrow, but in advance of that appearance, the school announcing today that they would honor 4 former players who integrated the SEC. This poster was unveiled to the team last night. The modern players in it are wearing the numbers of Greg Page, number 82, Nate Northington, 23, Wilbur Hackett, 41, and Houston Hogg, number 42. The poster is meant to pay tribute to the way the 4 Trailblazers paved the way for what Kentucky football is today. The 2016 season marks 50 years since Northington and Page enrolled at UK in 1966. The poster is similar to a statue honoring the 4 that will be located in front of the new UK football practice facility. It'll be unveiled at a special event on Thursday, September 22nd. Fittingly, UK will host South Carolina in its first SEC game 2 days later and celebrate Northington becoming the first African American to play in an SEC game on September 30th, 1967. The poster is free and is available at Kroger stores around the state beginning this Saturday, July the 16th. And Lexington's Tyson Gay will get a shot at Olympic redemption. He struggled at the Olympic trials, finishing 5th in the 100 meters, 6th in the 200. But the U.S. coach has chosen for the relay team, meaning he could run in the Olympic preliminaries for in the final. Gay tested positive for a banned substance in 2013 and accepted a 1-year ban that also cost the U.S. its relay silver medal from the London Games in 2012. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider, Ryan Lemon will be sitting in for Dick Gabriel, who will be reporting for us from SEC Media Days in Birmingham. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, much more on those media days coming up a bit later. But for now, that's a look at sports on this Tuesday.
All right, finding out a lot about the season to come. Buzz, appreciate it.
And there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
We're going to take a look at some of the new laws going into effect this week here in the Commonwealth.
A Mercer County teen is charged as an adult in a high-profile murder case. Coming up at 12:30, we'll take you inside the courtroom where he's standing before a judge.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $311 million.